a single bolt of lightning is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Not warmer. Not comparable. 5 times hotter. And it happens in your backyard during a Tuesday afternoon thunderstorm. Fact number 1. Lightning is hotter than the sun's surface. The surface of the sun burns at approximately 5,500 degrees Celsius, an almost incomprehensible temperature. But a single lightning bolt superheats the air around it to roughly 30,000 degrees Celsius in a fraction of a second. That's not a rounding error. That's not a misprint. That is a verified, peer-reviewed measurement confirmed by atmospheric physicists at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. The bolt itself is thinner than your thumb, sometimes only 2 to 3 centimeters wide, but in that razor-thin channel, it generates more heat per centimeter than the visible surface of our star. The thunder you hear afterward? That's the shockwave from the surrounding air expanding explosively at the speed of sound because it simply cannot handle that much energy that fast. Every single thunderstorm produces this. Every single one. Visual note: show an infographic comparing temperature scales, a color gradient bar chart from room temperature up through the sun's surface to the lightning channel temperature. Use orange to white gradient for the sun, electric blue-white for lightning. Fact number 2. Earth gets struck by lightning 100 times every single second. Right now, as you watch this video, lightning is striking the Earth's surface approximately 100 times per second. That's 6,000 strikes per minute. 360,000 strikes per hour. About 8 million strikes every single day. NASA's lightning imaging sensor, mounted on the TRMM satellite, has been tracking global lightning activity since 1997 and confirmed this staggering rate of strikes. Most of those bolts are hitting the same general locations, the so-called lightning hotspots of the world. Lake Maracaibo in Venezuela holds the undisputed world record. This one lake experiences lightning on an average of 297 nights per year. That's 297 out of 365 nights. The locals call it Catatumbo lightning, a permanent, almost mythical electrical storm that has burned so reliably for centuries that 16th-century Spanish sailors used it as a navigational lighthouse. A natural, atmospheric lighthouse made entirely of lightning. It's been doing this for at least 500 years. Visual note: display an animated world map with glowing hotspots marking global lightning frequency data from NASA. Highlight Lake Maracaibo with a pulsing marker and a stat counter showing strikes per year. Fact number 3. A person can survive a lightning strike and be struck 7 times. Roy Sullivan was a United States park ranger working in Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. Between 1942 and 1977, Roy Sullivan was struck by lightning 7 separate, documented times, and survived every single one. He lost a toenail in 1942. His eyebrows were burned off in 1969. His hair was set on fire in 1970, again in 1972, and yet again in 1973. His ankle was injured in 1976. In 1977, a bolt struck him while he was fishing and burned his chest and stomach. He was listed in the Guinness World Records as the human being most frequently struck by lightning. The odds of being struck by lightning once in your lifetime in the United States are roughly 1 in 15,300 according to NOAA data. The odds of being struck 7 times? Essentially incalculable. Roy Sullivan himself reportedly said he believed lightning was actively trying to kill him. He carried a can of water with him everywhere for the last years of his life, to pour over his head if he caught fire again. He died in 1983, not from lightning, but from an unrelated cause. The sky never did finish the job. Visual note: show an infographic timeline of Roy Sullivan's 7 strikes with dates, locations, and injuries mapped on a simple illustrated timeline graphic. Use lightning bolt icons at each event marker. Fact number 4. Ball lightning is a real, unexplained phenomenon scientists still cannot fully explain. Imagine looking out your window during a thunderstorm and watching a glowing sphere of light, roughly the size of a basketball, sometimes as large as a beach ball, float silently through the air, pass through a closed window without breaking it, drift around your living room for 30 seconds, and then vanish with a loud pop. This is not science fiction. This is not folklore. Ball lightning is a documented atmospheric phenomenon reported by thousands of credible witnesses worldwide, including military pilots, scientists, and naval officers going back centuries. In 2014, a team of Chinese scientists at Northwest Normal University in Lanzhou became the first researchers in history to capture ball lightning on video and spectrographic instruments by complete accident. They were studying regular lightning when one appeared naturally in the field. It measured approximately 5 meters in diameter, lasted 1.64 seconds, and the spectrograph revealed it contained silicon, iron, and calcium, exactly the elements found in local soil, strongly supporting one leading theory that it forms when a lightning strike vaporizes minerals in the ground and creates a self-sustaining plasma orb. But even that doesn't explain how it passes through solid glass. As of 2025, ball lightning has no single universally accepted scientific explanation. It is a real, recurring, measurable atmospheric event that modern physics has not yet fully cracked. Visual note: use an animated diagram showing the plasma orb theory, a step-by-step infographic with labeled stages: ground strike, mineral vaporization, plasma formation, and dissipation. Include the 2014 Chinese study citation as an on-screen text overlay. Fact number 5. The deadliest single weather event in recorded history killed 300,000 people in 24 hours. On November 13, 1970, a tropical cyclone, now known as the Bola cyclone, made landfall in what was then East Pakistan, now Bangladesh. The storm generated a surge of ocean water approximately 10 meters high, that's a wall of seawater as tall as a 3-story building, that swept across the flat, densely populated Ganges Delta at night while most people were asleep. The official death toll is estimated between 300,000 and 500,000 people, making it the deadliest tropical cyclone in recorded human history. For context, the entire population of Miami, Florida is approximately 440,000 people. The Bola cyclone effectively erased a city-sized population from existence in a single night. What makes this even more staggering from a meteorological standpoint is that the storm itself was not unusual by cyclone standards. It was a Category 3 equivalent. The catastrophic death toll was almost entirely the result of geographic vulnerability and a complete absence of early warning infrastructure. Today, Bangladesh has one of the most sophisticated cyclone warning and evacuation systems on the planet, built directly in response to 1970, and a 2007 storm of similar strength killed fewer than 3,500 people. Early warning systems built from that single tragedy saved hundreds of thousands of lives in the decades that followed. Visual note: show a color-coded historical cyclone intensity map of the Bay of Bengal, highlighting the 1970 storm track. Display a side-by-side comparison infographic, 1970 death toll versus 2007 storm death toll under similar conditions, with bar chart format. Fact number 6. Rogue waves, once dismissed as sailor myth, were proven real in 1995 and they defy all physics models. For centuries, sailors told stories of monstrous, isolated walls of water rising from calm seas without warning, waves 2, 3, sometimes 4 times the height of the surrounding ocean, that appeared from nowhere and dragged ships to the bottom before a distress call could be sent. Scientists called it myth. Oceanographers called it exaggeration. Physics models said such waves were statistically impossible. The mathematical probability of a wave that large occurring by chance was calculated at once every 10,000 years. Then, on January 1, 1995, the Draupner oil platform off the coast of Norway recorded a single wave measuring 25.6 meters, roughly 84 feet, in a sea where surrounding waves averaged only 12 meters. It was captured by a laser measurement instrument that had been installed to study normal wave patterns. They called it the Draupner wave, and it broke every statistical model oceanographers had built up to that point. Subsequent satellite analysis by the European Space Agency in 2001 scanned just 30,000 square kilometers of ocean over 3 weeks and found 10 waves exceeding 25 meters during that single observation window. 10. In 3 weeks. What was supposed to happen once every 10,000 years was happening constantly. Modern physics still does not have a complete model that accurately predicts when and where rogue waves will form. The ocean is keeping secrets. Visual note: show a wave height comparison infographic, illustrated silhouettes of the Dropner wave versus a standard shipping container, a 6-story building, and a typical ocean wave. Include the ESA satellite observation data as an annotated diagram. Fact number 7. A tornado once carried a cancelled check 305 miles and it was still cashed. On May 27, 1931, a tornado swept through the American Midwest and, among the more extraordinary pieces of documented debris recovery, a cancelled check was found 305 miles from where it originated. Recovered. Intact enough to be identified. But tornado debris transport is genuinely one of the most bizarre and underreported phenomena in atmospheric science. During the 2011 Joplin, Missouri tornado, an EF5 rated at winds exceeding 200 miles per hour, killing 161 people and making it the deadliest single tornado in United States history since 1947, debris was recovered in locations up to 70 miles away. Medical records, photographs, credit cards, and personal documents from Joplin were found scattered across multiple states. A Bible was found largely intact 70 miles from where it was lifted. But here's the physics that makes this genuinely mind-bending. The debris isn't just blown outward. Tornado funnels create an internal pressure gradient so intense that lightweight objects are lifted into the upper storm system, sometimes into the mesocyclone at altitudes above 40,000 feet, where they are carried in jet stream-level winds before being deposited hundreds of miles away. The same storm that levels steel-reinforced concrete buildings will simultaneously carry a paper document 300 miles and set it down unharmed. The selective, almost absurd specificity of tornado destruction is something structural engineers and atmospheric scientists study to this day. Visual note: display an infographic cross-section diagram of a tornado's internal airflow, showing the debris lofting mechanism with labeled altitude markers. Annotate with the 2011 Joplin debris field map showing recovery locations as dots radiating outward from the tornado track. Fact number 8. The most electrically active storm in human history produced lightning that struck 477 miles in a single bolt. On April 29, 2020, a single lightning bolt was detected over the southern United States that stretched an extraordinary 477.2 miles, that is 768 kilometers, in a single continuous discharge. To put that distance into perspective, that single bolt of lightning was long enough to span the entire distance from Houston, Texas to Dallas, Texas, and continue past Dallas all the way to the Oklahoma border. And keep going. The World Meteorological Organization officially certified this as the longest lightning bolt ever recorded in human history on February 1, 2022. The same report also certified a separate record, a single lightning flash over Uruguay and northern Argentina on June 18, 2020, that lasted an officially verified 17.102 seconds. Nearly 18 seconds of continuous lightning. Your entire perception of what lightning is, a fast, localized zap, is physically wrong. These are not anomalies. Advances in the geostationary lightning mapper, a satellite instrument launched on NOAA's GOES-16 weather satellite in 2016, have revealed that so-called megaflashes, lightning events exceeding 100 kilometers in length, are far more common than previously known. We only discovered they existed because we finally had instruments sensitive enough to see them. The storms have been doing this the entire time. We just weren't watching closely enough. Visual note: show a U.S. map infographic with the April 2020 megaflash route traced as a glowing electric blue line stretching from southern Louisiana across Texas, with distance markers at 100-mile intervals. Add a timer graphic beside it showing 17.102 seconds for the Uruguay duration record. Every single time you see a thunderstorm rolling in, you are watching a system that generates more heat than the sun, throws plasma orbs through solid walls, writes its name across 500 miles of sky, and has been doing all of this for billions of years before a single human being was alive to be shocked by it. The atmosphere is not background. It is one of the most violent, complex, and poorly understood systems on this planet, and we live inside it. Subscribe to Moonlit Minds for daily mind-blowing facts that will change how you see the world.